Hey, what's going, y'all? It is yours truly once again. In regards to vetting her father instead, well, based on the untold truth, a lot of what we consider father nowadays pales in comparison to the way fathers were in yesteryears of yesterday. For it's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. The yesterday of fathers that were real fathers back in the day. And this is not a discouragement on my part towards fathers in these times. Yes, fathers in these times that are still being fathers. I'm not talking about those that are around that are real fathers. I'm just basically saying that there's a lack of it. That's all I'm saying. So with that said, I mean, you think about, hey, if you had to go out your way to, I guess, vet a father instead, what? You'll be like, what up, Pops? Yeah, you'll probably be like that, huh? Yeah, what up, Pops? But see, it might sound funny to you, but it's really, it's really serious. So this is what I mean. So back in the days, it used to be the son that was vetted in order to be around the daughter. Yes, he would vet you by asking you a lot of questions, wanted to know more about you, wanted to see if you were, I guess, fit to be with his daughter. That's how it used to be. I mean, in some cases, there were like shotgun marriages, if you will, for like the type of guy that kind of messed it up for that guy's father. I mean, that guy's daughter, that particular father. So, if you don't stay with her, I got a shotgun for you, right? But in this day and age, one can now say that for most of these fathers, you got to be the same way towards him. Why? Because these guys have spoiled their daughters so much with this whole princess and fairy tale way of thinking that, to be honest, she's like, if you're not like my father, then I don't want to bother. Now, there's nothing wrong with, a gal wanting a guy that reminds her of her father, but only based on personality, not based on what he does for you. Okay? Because what husband or what a husband does for a wife is different than what a father does for a daughter. Let's get that clear right now. So with that said, the way that a guy would vet her father instead, obviously, me, I'm old school. So out of respect, I'm not going to ask him a lot of questions. I'm not going to pry into his business in the same way he would probably do to me if we could rewind the hands of time at least 20 to 30 years ago based on the date of this particular upload. And I think, I can't go back and pry him like that, you know what I'm saying? But what I can do is this. Let's get right into it. What would I do instead? Let's get right into it. So yeah, what I would do instead is my main thing is, like I said, there's no questionnaires. I'm not going to be trying to vet him like that. I'll be just checking him like that, just seeing his demeanors, his behaviors based on how he treats his own daughter and then what she has to say about him. And if he's already married, I'll see how he's treating his wife. And I can see if more or less if that same demeanor, you know what I'm saying, if it affects her mentality, reflects her mentality, especially if it's like him having a simp behavior, then that's basically me vetting her father, me knowing that she has a bad influence from him. And, as a man, I have every right to not want anything to do with her because of the way she was raised by him. Now, we look at this situation, we talk about all these Tatianas and things like that, but what about the fathers of these Tatianas? Let's get into it. Well, basically, a lot of these fathers do want their daughters to be wifed up. Now, there might be some fathers who just know that their daughter is no good. Yeah, they know that their daughter is no good, and he just rather not say much about her. Or he might advise that guy, he'll say, you know what? I don't want to seem like I'm cock blocking a potential son-in-law. I don't want to do that. I know you want to have a woman in your life, but I'm not sure if my daughter is the best fit for you. You know, it's rare that a man would say that about his own daughter. He just would rather not speak about it because most men would be embarrassed if they have a daughter that ended up not wifeable. You know what I'm saying? So most guys, if they have a daughter that's a Tatiana, they just would rather not talk about it versus actually warning a potential son-in-law about it, if you will. So, I mean, at that point, you just have to hopefully hope if you haven't been forewarned, you've been paying a good attention to the way that she interacts with her father, because that's another way of vetting her father. Not only seeing how he interacts with her, if he's a simp, you can see how she interacts with him, because that'll show if she even has respect for him or not, whether he's a simp or not. Yeah, you can gauge so much about the type of father he is just based on the caliber of man that you are. And it's up to you if you want to go further with being around his daughter to take on as the woman in your life, because overall, I mean, it's going to show if she has no respect for his masculinity, she won't have respect for yours. And this has nothing to do with him being masculine or not. It's just more or less the way she views things and views the world based on her view that she got being around her father. So maybe her father was a decent guy and she didn't respect that. Well, you'll peep that and walk away, regardless of how she is trying to tell you that she's trying to change. No, change the way that you treat your father first. Then maybe I'll think about it. That's a big maybe. And then the other way goes, the way your father treats you. Let's say he treated you bad. That could affect the way that you think I'm going to treat you. And we see a lot of this in this day and age. Sometimes I think fellas and some ladies who might know some less feminine of the feminine gender, a lot of these behaviors, a lot of it probably ain't really just her. It's just what she has internalized based on the external factors. Keep that in mind. And thanks a million. One of those external factors being obviously a father that was never vetted himself.